All right. Hey, everybody. It's time for another paint talk. How are you? I'm going to be bringing on a guest with me tonight. So when Miss Debbie Beard is ready, let me know, girl, and I will pull you up.
I'm a little bit ready.
All right. There you are.
How are you?
I'm so good. I've actually got some pigment in this. I found another sample that you sent home with me in January.
Oh, yay. Oh, good, because I have my whole box of pigments here to show.
Oh, good.
So
I'm so glad. I was like scrambling underneath my counter going, I still think there was just a little bit more that you sent home with me. I had the one that I believe you nicknamed Pool Party.
Oh, yeah.
And I scraped that little thing dry, girl. There is not a 1 ounce of pigment in that.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're pretty addictive.
Well, they're just fun. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, Carol. Lorraine is here. Kim Sprato. Lolly's here. Papa Mac. My Michelle is here. Amber, how are you? Betty, Lisa Dixon, B Mom. And my friend Debbie Beard is on with me today. And so we are still prepping for our workshop that we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks on the 25th and 26th. She is totally distracted by her little stocking of toys that she has. Debbie, why don't you tell them what you've got there?
I have our new pigment powders. We're calling them making powders because they are so much more than just pigment powders. We have 11 colors of powders and a new gilding wax. So the retailers they all are accepting pre-orders right now.
Yeah.
And we will be shipping around the end of June. Oh my goodness, what are you doing?
So this is yellow, and
I want to do that.
Well, I want you to do that, and so I'm just making little marks and stuff with this new brush.
Holy.
This is just White Swan.
White Swan and Bright Side.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have Bright Side. Hold on.
And I didn't put a whole lot in it because Bright Side is really bright. I was wanting something a little bit. I wanted to, of course, test my yellows, and so I was playing around with the depth of the yellow. Hi, Janet. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you. Hi, Cheryl Atkinson. Jeanette is here. Betty, hello. There is some. Okay, so that is the yellow. I will have all of those for pre-order on my website, you guys, in the next probably 24 hours. I've got a photo shoot at the chapel tomorrow. And so it won't be done tomorrow, but I'm hoping I get it on tonight. Hello. Warren Stevens says she can't wait to see the new pigments. Tanette Major.
So you guys need to know that we will not be putting the pigments on the DIY paint website. Whenever we come out with new products, we want you to go to our retailers. We want you to look at our website as a last resort if you absolutely don't have anyone that you can go through. And even if you don't, most of our retailers will ship. So we try and drive all the sales through the retailers. So you can, if you want them, you can go pre-order them through Dion or any of your favorite DIY retailers.
Yes, whoever your retailer is, order it through them. I'm only telling you about that. You don't have to wait for me. If y'all are ready to order them, pre-order them right now. They will ship out on the 25th or after?
Yes, shortly after the 25th. Maybe sooner, but that's our tentative date for right now.
Yes, Lolly, I'll have them under paint. I'll have them where all the DIY paint is. I did get my order in yesterday, so I'm just absolutely thrilled. Can't wait to get my hands on them. I know, I'm like, that totally looks like an alcohol bottle.
This is a big bottle tonight. It's water, you guys, water.
Yeah, that looks big. Hey, Michelle Sells.
I hurried my dinner down and I'm a little thirsty, so sorry about that.
I figured you were rushing because you were on your channel earlier. So what I want you guys to remember is that you won't be able to get these on the DIY paint like Debbie said. So whoever your DIY retailer is, whoever's close, whoever you drive to, you'll be able to pre-order from them. I'm assuming all of the retailers, most of them are going to want to participate. If not, like today, trust me, they'll be getting them on there eventually. It might be a process for some of them, but I'll have them on there as well in the next 24 to 48 hours, as soon as I get a minute. So we thank you, Michelle, for putting the workshop link. We do still have some tickets available, and we're going to have those there to play with in person, right, my friend?
Yes. So if you come to the workshop, we will have samples for you to, we will have canvases and samples of all of the DIY paint and the pigments and the finishes so that you can paint along with us while we work on our furniture. Dion, that is so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
As you can see, I'm still working on where we left off.
That's okay.
But
For those that might have missed that, show that painting a little bit close up and show them how you've been becoming a canvas artist.
I've been trying.
I think that these pigments are going to inspire your creativity big time.
Yes, I want to add that yellow in. Do you think I could do that?
Of course. I used white swan. I used white swan, and I used about a tablespoon. Now, not a whole jar, Debbie. I grabbed a little bit of white swan. I poured a little bit of water, and I didn't measure anything because that's not how I roll. And I just, spin it, mixed it up. And then I thought there's a little bit about this painting that's dark before. And so I grabbed it and just decided I needed to highlight some of the leaves. And
it looks very birds of paradise to me. Is that what?
I love that.
Love those.
Thank you.
Thank you. How much did you mix in?
Probably a tablespoon, and I only mixed it in about 3 or 4 ounces of paint.
Okay. So this stuff is so intense that
and don't be careful. You don't want it to like splatter up in your face.
No, I'm looking for something to spoon it out with.
Yeah, a little spoon or a scoop, or even I use my palette knives a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
For that.
Tablespoon, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just a little drop of water if you have your water bottle there or something.
I do.
Kind of.
This stuff is so much fun. Oh my goodness. I am loving it. This one is called The Bright Side.
The Bright Side. Cute names, by the way. And these are going to retail for
about $10.
Yeah, only $10.
And a little goes a long, long way.
It's kind of like an essential. It reminds me of kind of like the essential oil. You know how a little goes a long way? Like 1 drop is extremely pigmented. So think of it in those terms, you guys. You know how the oils, essential oils, come in little tiny bottles? That's because pigments also go a long way. Will there be selling sample size? So the sample sizes are 2 ounces. So that is the size. And like I said, they're only $10, Joanne, for the retail price.
Yeah, and a little 2-ounce jar will go like crazy.
So Debbie, I was thinking this color would be really good to highlight the tips of some of your leaves if you want to try that.
Okay.
And then I also have a green that I mixed up, but not with any pigment. I was out of our green pigment sample that you sent home with me in January when we were in Albuquerque. I had, all I did was mix half Old 57 and half Salty Kiss, and my brother named it Salty 57.
Salty 57?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And so I'm also going to add some of that into my leaves for a little bit more definition.
I think I might need a little bit more pigment.
Yeah, just play with it till you get it to a color, I think it's going to be, I'm also excited because I've been trying to tint so lately, Debbie, I've taken a couple pieces of furniture and I've used our turquoise verdigris, our shipwrecked wax.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Over the whole piece.
Love it.
Like I've put clear down and then I've put the wax over the whole piece just for like a vintage tinted look on my furniture. So what I think I want to do is also mix the poolside or pool party and some of my patina, my liquid patina, when I seal my painting, and I think it will create like an all over vintage tint to it. And then I don't know, I just feel like I should play around with that for like
there's so many things you can do. I was stamping with it earlier. Like
I saw your little.
Yeah, I just took the tiniest bit and brushed my stamp with liquid patina and then dipped my brush in the pigment and brushed it across the stamp. Oh my gosh, so pretty.
So if anybody has any questions, let me know right now. If it is,
So highlight the tips of my leaves. Like here.
the warehouse is in New Mexico. Yes. How many different colors? Different colors. There's 12. Well,
Yeah.
there's a.
I should show more of them. We have this is Van Gogh. It's like the yellow you imagine when you think of a Van Gogh painting in those sunflowers. We have Pool Party, and Mr. Gavin came up with this awesome name. He's like, Debbie, if you ever need a color name, I have one for you, and it's called Pool Party. So we named this from Gavin's suggestion. We have Orange You Glad. I think that was Kanice's pick.
That's cute.
Kanice and I sat here for hours thinking of names, and Crystal helped with this one. This one is Patchouli.
Patchouli, I love it.
Jamie Ray said, "Oh, that's Lehigh Purple."
That's perfect.
From Utah, and I'm like, "Yeah, because patchouli is so on trend in Lehigh." And she's like, "I don't even know what patchouli is."
Oh my gosh, she doesn't?
I guess not.
That's awesome. I love her.
This is our gold gilding wax. It's called Golden Rule. It's super creamy and intense.
So
Our pigments are so, like, we use the most premium intense pigments. So I've always wanted a gold wax, but to put it in like the regular size container would be really pricey. So we have it in this 2-ounce jar, and it's like a gilding wax, kind of like that rub and buff stuff that you get in the tiny tube at the craft store, but way more brilliant.
Okay.
We have Silver Lining, which is a silver mica powder.
Ooh, all you silver lovers, you're in heaven now.
I know.
Oh
People have been asking for silver forever. This is Elixir.
Okay.
It's an electric. Someone said that's electric elixir, and we would have named it that, but we need like short names for the sides of the jars.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I am in love with that. Debbie, I'm gonna throw some of that in my blue iris and just intensify it even more.
Yes. This is Date Night. This is another Crystal Molina name. Super. And it's a fiery red, like fluorescent reddish.
It's gorgeous.
Color. We have Bright Side, which we're using now, and I feel like we have one more. Oh yeah, PCH, Pacific Coast Highway.
And that's more like a royal blue, right?
Yeah, like a bright royal. Let's see, did I get them all?
Ooh, Amber says she's going to dip her fibers, Debbie.
Oh,
that's a great idea,
Amber. Violaceous, which is a bright lavender purple orchid. So if you compare it with patchouli.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That's beautiful.
Did I get them all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did you show New Year's Eve or whatever that was?
Oh no, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is like a bronzy, like an oxidized bronze.
Gorgeous. My goodness. Give me something else to spice up my stuff. I'm so excited to have new toys.
I know. Me too.
Okay. So how has the cabana outside been going?
Good. We made a bunch of flower garlands, and we glued seashells to this sheer fabric for drapery.
Oh, okay.
It is good. So I'm going to need a little guidance because I did all of this. Like, I didn't do a single brush stroke without Dion's help.
You didn't explore, huh?
Huh?
You didn't do any exploring, huh?
I'm a little scared. I don't want to mess it up because it looks good.
Well, Debbie, it may be done. I mean, we may just need to walk away from it. Hold it up here closer to me and let me take a good look at it. Okay, yes. I feel like maybe a color you could add would be more, a little bit more bohemian blue.
Okay.
Just for like some deep depth, you know? What do you think? What do you think?
I have no idea.
Huh.
I don't know. The painting sold and the money went to Andy. So I can't really, I mean, the buyer was so gracious and said, I want you to keep your first painting, but he sent the money to Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy,
Derek
Derek
Carlton.
Derek is always good to contribute to everything that we do.
So that was super sweet. But then I'm like, oh, now you're going to leave it in my hands. I could possibly mess it up.
Warren Stevens, did I call you a chick? That doesn't sound like me to say the word chick. I apologize. I am so sorry. That is just a habit of me talking while I'm painting or doing something else and not even thinking about what I'm saying. I'm so sorry, and I'm so glad you're here. Jeanette, you'll be able to order from my website. Just add it to white paint, or you can add it to white paint. You can intensify the colors that you already have. There was a piece I did, Amber, called Confetti Sunrise back in September and October. I had some pigment shipped to me from Amy Sadler, and she was talking about use these, Dion. Well, I put them in wax, and it was like, holy moly. That was such a nice, fun thing. And so we've been playing with them. And that piece of furniture was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. Like I got like these past, like our beadboard just kind of went like boom. Like it just gave like a different color. And we just started kind of playing around with the paint, but you don't have to just put them in white. You can put them in any color. You can put them in Big Top, which would be treated like a glaze. So let's say you painted a piece of furniture like turquoise, like let you use Old 57, and then you mix the mermaid tail or a Big Top, and then you put the pull party, or you put the elixir, or you put something like that, and then you can use it as a glaze. You could brush it on, then you could take a rag and you could wipe it back. And so it's kind of left in there. You could do like Debbie did. She did the stamping. She rolled out the color and then did some stamping. I don't know how you really did that, Debbie. How did you do the blue stamp that you did today?
I'll go get it. It's still out. So right now I was just curious. So I dipped my brush in Big Top, and then I just put my brush right into the pigment with a little bit of wet Big Top.
Okay.
And I'm just seeing how that looks.
Oh, that's kind of what you did at our workshop in Albuquerque when we had our online class.
Yeah, because I like that really intense pop. But let me go get my stamp.
That's almost treating it like it's a like a liner liquid or something. If you do it like that, that's a great idea. Look at the skirt you're wearing. How cute.
Thank you. I didn't think about this skirt and going live on the floor.
Yes, as a watercolor, Lynn. That's what Debbie was saying. She's been using hers as a watercolor. Just fun stuff. Hi, Rob. Hi, Delisa.
Yes,
I'm glad
you used as a watercolor. So I used the Bohemia IOD stamp, and I just coated my stamp with liquid patina, and then I dipped my brush in the pigment, and I just pressed it onto this little dollar store canvas. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. I think that would be a really, like if someone's really into doing like different backdrops on your canvas, you guys, or on a piece of furniture, that's another thing that you could do. Like Kelly Weiler likes to use things like that on her intuitive paintings. She lays things down like that just for different presses and different abstract forms on her pieces of furniture and her artworks. I think that would be fun too.
I know. I love the mixed media. So let me see if I can do this again.
Yeah.
I already have a blue pigment on here.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna try it. Like a lot of times I try things and they don't work out, but
yes, you can use the pigments in resin. That's another thing that people use resin with is pigments. You can use it if you guys are a encaustic artist. You can melt your wax and sprinkle the pigments in. and use it that way. And that way you get a really intense color. You don't have to worry about melting any paint.
Yeah. And you can also use it the way we use our decrepit dust. So if you have details on your furniture piece, little carved out pieces, molding,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can put that clear wax down and then sprinkle this powder over the clear wax and then let it get into all the low spots and then wipe off the excess,
Oh, yeah.
like you would our decrepit dust.
That's
So I've got pigment all over my stamp. I'm just going to see if it does anything. It worked earlier, but you just never know.
Yeah, the camera wasn't on you, huh?
I know, huh?
Oh, good. Look at you putting that on there. Warren says he will be doing that with like the dust. That's what he would like to do.
Yeah. So I put basically the same color on top, and maybe it needs to be more contrasting, but I don't know if you can see the detail. It definitely has like leaf veins going on there.
Karen would like to know if anybody has seen Debbie's YouTube video earlier and her Chosen set story. It was an excellent story of your experience to the set of Chosen. It was easy to see how much being there made a meaningful difference in your life, Debbie.
It did. That was one of my favorite videos. Nothing to do with DIY really, although if you love bohemian style, these sets were just eye candy everywhere. Like the decor and the costumes and the sets were just unbelievable. So if you like that sort of thing, you would like this video, but it's about how I got to be on a television set and film for the day and interview a bunch of people, and then end up I'm an extra in the season finale. So and it's
Oh, guys, she's
favorite TV
downplaying it. She's downplaying the video just because she's humble like that. The video is amazing. Like, I got tears in my eyes, and not because the actual story was making me tear up, but because Debbie did it with such passion, and she added like, I don't like, Debbie wasn't emotional in it, but she created emotion in me. And when you do that, that's like a movie maker right there. And I said, how in the world? I mean, the first word that came to me was like majestic or divinity, or it was just kind of like the word was bigger than a craft video. Like, it was just like, it was so dynamic. It had a lot of, right, Janet? Janet saw it. The music was at the perfect time. It was just kind of like, I don't know, Debbie, it was really, really special, and definitely one of my top 5 videos of yours, if not right there in the number 2.
Well, I love good storytelling, and I love movies that are made really well, and stories that are not just told well and like beautiful cinematography and beautiful acting, but stories that have meaning behind them, that are uplifting. I think we all need encouragement right now. So about this time last year, when we were all really locked down, my sister kept saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like, I mean, I have very strong faith, but I'm like, I've never seen a Bible movie that's really thrilled me, and I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
And then on Easter Sunday, she's like, let's watch one after dinner. And oh my gosh, I watched all 8 episodes in a matter of 2 days. Like, I couldn't get enough. And I was just so moved by it. And I remember just like, God, I want to tell stories like that. I want to learn how to tell better stories, and I want to be a part of this. And if I could just, like, I said this prayer, I'm like, if I could just be a fly on the wall, I would just love it. And then, like, you know, all the voices that like talk you out of things. It's like, yeah, right. That's never going to happen. And even if it did happen, you're too busy. You have too many things to do. And then it happened. And when I got the email saying I got to go to the set, it was like all of a sudden, it was like God was like, knock, knock, knock. Hello, remember you asked me, and I'm saying yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I totally forgot. Like, it was just a quick like prayer that I sent up thinking whatever. And then being there and seeing how these stories are told in such an amazing way that's so different than anything I've ever seen. It was just incredible.
Well, you've been on a set before. This is different because even though you've been on multiple TV sets before, you've been on Extreme Home Makeover with Ty Pennington. You've been on the Hallmark Channel. You've done some, you know, tryouts and things like that as well. But Debbie, what do you think made this? I mean, other than the story, do you think the story is what made it so impactful? But I feel like you were also really touched by the actors and the staff and the crew.
Yeah, there's just a lot of passion, and everyone there just really was very excited about what they were doing. And the director, the way he writes these stories, it's, you know, if you have any passion for the gospel and the Bible and the Bible stories, when I've read the Bible for my entire life, I have a hard time grasping it. I wonder what context it's in, and you just kind of picture these saints as unattainable, unreachable, very theatrical. Like any show I've seen about the Bible has always been very theater, and
Right.
these people don't seem real. And they were real people, and they, you know, they were like you and I, you know, struggling with the similar things that we struggle with: impatience and anger and depression and isolation and joy and relationships. And it's just the closest thing to what it must have been like to really be there. And it's just amazing. And it just created a desire for me to read my Bible and understand what actually happened and the context in the Bible. And it's just beautifully encouraging, and you know, it's very
Well. I
very,
think the
very
other thing that was interesting to me is that when you came home, you were on fire and you knew you wanted to do a video, but you waited a while, Debbie.
And because you know, when you want to do something really, really well, and then you just procrastinate because you're like, I don't know how to start, and I don't want this to suck, but I really want to do this, but I don't know what to do, so you do nothing.
Well, you weren't doing anything. That's just it. You weren't doing anything. You were planning, and you were putting all of your thoughts and all of your memories in order. So it spilled out into what it is. So I loved that you were patient with it. I love that you actually took your time, because I think that is exactly what made it, because it just rolled around. I know you laid in bed sometimes and thought about it, and you were anxious to do it, but girlfriend, you were planning. So it wasn't that you weren't doing anything or procrastinating. I just felt like you were planning.
Maybe.
I
mean, I was like, every once in a while, I remember one morning making coffee, and like all of a sudden all these things I wanted to say came flooding to my brain, and I'm like, ugh, if I don't write this down, I'm gonna forget it. And what I do when I get an inspiration now, my sister actually taught me how to do this, is I go to the voice record on my phone.
Yep.
And I make a voice memo for myself.
Yeah.
So that I can say it the way that I want to say it when I create the video. And the very last part of the video, where I'm wrapping it up and I'm saying, you know, at the end what I want to say, I'm doing my voiceover, and I'm like, no, that's not it, erase. No, that's not it, erase. And I just sat there. I'm like, God, what is it that I'm supposed to say right here? Like, I feel like there's something that I need to say, but I can't think of it, and nothing's working out. And I just tried several times and deleted every voiceover. And then I remembered my voice memo, and I went back and played it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. And it was like from a month earlier. So I'm really like, that's a great tip, and a great thing to do if you're ever inspired and you want to write something later or create something later. And the words, like, have you ever just been like in a moment in the shower or whatever, and all of a sudden you just get this flood of inspiration?
Completely. And I use that voice memo for the same thing. I put it in I do notes where I say things like, hey, here's what I want to write later. But for the voice memo, I do that exact same thing, where I have a thought, or like if I'm planning like a workshop and I want to make sure I say something, and it's like me driving. Mine is when I'm driving, and so I'll grab my phone and I just push voice record, and then I forget that I did it. Like, I dumped it and I don't remember where I dumped it.
Yeah. That is a wonderful tip,
you guys. For those of you that are on the go, And for those of you that would rather just use your voice, but the way she said it is that you want to hear the emotion or it in the same context that you will remember. Oh yeah, I remember I was feeling this way when I thought that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if I write it down on a piece of paper, then I'll lose the piece of paper. So like I try and just keep everything in the phone because I never am without that.
Yeah, gotta find keep that. I bet you lose that phone at the store sometimes. I would.
Yeah, I've lost the phone for sure.
I think it's the greatest thing in the world when I buy a dress and it has pockets, Debbie.
Oh yes.
Give me the dresses with the pockets.
The pockets are like the cherry on the sundae.
That's exactly right, you guys. If you're a dressmaker, put a pocket on it. And my mom used to cut all the pockets out of my shorts or her clothes just because they thought it added bulk. I'm like, I know, Mom, but I need the pockets.
Your mom's hilarious.
I love the pockets. She cut them. Yes. She would cut them out. She would cut the pockets out, and then she would stitch it up. She would stitch it up. So no bulk whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. She would she still does it. She takes anything she buys and she alters it to fit her exactly. She's awesome. Very good at it. Very good.
I bet that just takes your whole wardrobe to a new level.
It does. It makes it look a lot more professional when it fits you like a glove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally.
I cannot. I'm one who will cut off the bottom of my pants, even if they're corduroy, not sew them and just be like, fray is in.
You picked me up from the airport that one day and I was like, I love this dress or top or something. And you were like, it was a dress, but it was too long on me. So I just cut the bottom off.
I do that all the time. I do that with Anthropologie dresses that really should be taken to the tailor, but because most dresses are too long on me.
Yeah.
Even like the maxi dresses, I like them, but my version of a maxi dress still needs about 10 inches cut off the bottom. And I just get out my scissors, and I just did that recently over the summer, or not the summer, but when I was in Vegas, it felt like summer because it was so hot.
Well, and there was also a fuchsia top. I mean, you've done it multiple times of shirts that I've been like, I love that.
So many times, and if people saw me, they'd be like, what are you doing?
Gavin is here. Hi, Miss Dion. Hi, Miss Debbie. How are you?
Gavin. Does he know about, I don't even think he knows about pool party.
Show him
out, Gavin.
Gavin, you got your own pigment named from DIY.
Yes.
You named it, buddy.
I took your name, and we have our new powdered pigments now. And this one looks like a pool party to me. Yeah.
That is
the name.
That's the other one you sent home with me from Albuquerque in January. And that's the one that I basically licked the can dry. Because I literally poured water in it, shook it, and made sure I had every last drop of it because it's such a gorgeous teal.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
They said we look like sisters.
Who, you and me?
Yes, thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's such a compliment. Are you guys? Thank you.
That
makes me feel good.
Gavin says, what? I love it. I need it. It's beautiful.
I know. It's really good. Gavin, I'm going to have to send you some of this.
Gavin, we will. Actually, Gavin, I still have, I need you to message me if you're in a permanent address, because your buddies here online, I have multiple hundreds of dollars worth of paint that I need to be sending to you, but I've been waiting for you to get into for you to be done traveling. So whenever you're ready, let me know. So we're going to hook you up and we'll get some pool party included in that.
Yes.
All of your buddies here wanted to make sure you were moved and had paint when you got there. Okay. So here's mine, Debbie, a little bit closer. You can see that the yellow.
It's and so pretty, Dion. Oh my goodness.
The salty
beautiful.
57. All right. So any questions, you guys? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Gavin. And Gavin, I also need to have you on the podcast. Have you ever done a podcast, buddy? Or are you doing one every week now?
Gavin's going to have his own podcast pretty soon. I would not be surprised.
Well, everybody that I feature in the journal gets to be on my podcast, Gavin. So I also needed to ask your mom about that. but it's time to get you on there. And I was just teasing you about doing a podcast every week, as if you're becoming such a natural at all of this. Jeanette, this is mostly paint. The yellow is what I use the pigment for. It's all I had left. I'm waiting for my samples to get here, hopefully by tomorrow, so I can start painting and playing.
I know it's killing you, Dion. I was hoping we could use these together.
It's all right.
But
it's all right. Let me see what you're doing. I can't see it.
I'm just playing with it. I have no idea. I feel like I'm not ruining it. I'm just
you're not.
My brush in the pigment and adding some depth.
You're just adding in some layers and some more strokes. And this style of painting is really kind of on trend right now, with having multiple colors, all kind of the same leaf and the same flower, and just kind of overlapping all of it. So it looks really beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I'm
so excited to see you in, like, when are you going to be here? Is it like 9
I'm going to
days?
be here. I'm going to be here on the 23rd.
So how many days away is that?
Today's the 9th. So I have 2 weeks from today, sis.
Oh my goodness.
So the whole family's coming. We'll be in late, so you won't see me on the 23rd, but you'll see me on the 24th. And then you guys, our VIP is the 25th. We do still have some spots for our VIP, a couple, I believe. And then we have some spots available for the workshop. Now I'm going to paint a piece of furniture. Debbie, do you have that piece of furniture for me yet?
No, I need to know what kind of furniture you want, because I have several pieces in storage, so I'll send you some pictures and
okay, just like a 2 or 3 drawer. You know me, I need to be able to start it and finish it, or I'll be frustrated and flustered. Okay. Just like 2 drawers or 3 drawers that just has enough on the front for me to really play, because I'm going to play with pigments. I know already what I'm going to do, which I never do that. I usually decide. I am not driving Karen. No, the whole family's flying. Gavin, she's using the mop brush, right, Debbie?
I'm using this one.
Oh, you're using the angle.
Yeah.
Gavin, she's using the angle. No. We're not driving, Karen.
Yes. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. I have people. I will have someone base coat that for you. No problem. I got a whole awesome team of people to do that.
Okay. All right. That'll be great.
But you guys, if you need a vacation or a staycation and you're local, come to Encinitas. It's the most beautiful place. And Dion and I are going to be painting furniture. We give our pieces away during the class. And we're going to do we're going to give everyone a canvas so you can play around and paint along with us. No pressure. I have never painted a canvas before, and Dion's a very good teacher. We do skits, we sing, we dance.
Ooh, we do our little dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, Gavin,
and it's like a block from the beach.
Yeah, it's a block from the beach, you guys. There's some wonderful tourist shops all around. But yes, Mr. Matt is coming, Gavin. He says he's going to be in Anaheim, and he's going to ask his stepmom or dad to take him. He would love, as long as kids can come. Yes, kids can come, Gavin. You can come. And he said I could finally meet Mr. Matt. Now, we will definitely be able to meet Mr. Matt. He will make sure he sees you if he knows you're in town.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And then my boys are going to be there. And so as far as the pigments, they're going to be on my website soon if you want to keep checking. Probably not like tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to go to the chapel tomorrow. I have 8 bushels of flowers delivered today. Michelle is driving up from Tulsa, and we are going to take some pictures for the issue 4 of the Journal magazine. So we're doing lots of fun stuff tomorrow, but they'll definitely be on by Friday.
Have you ever watercolored?
I have.
How is that?
Hard.
Okay.
If you wanted to make it look like anything, I love me some abstract watercolor, because that's easy. Just throw the color on. I got it. I'm good.
Because the pigments can be used as a watercolor, but
I'll show you. Let me show you my first watercolor, okay?
Okay.
All right. A lot of my girls in my group have all seen these, but I was challenging myself last winter. Okay, Debbie, remember when we were in the Monet's, at Monet's Garden? Remember we were at the gift shop? Remember we were in the
Yes.
gift shop and they had the little watercolors? I think we both bought one, right? Well, they were for kids. But here's my first one.
That's good. I like it.
Man. Then the second one, I did them several days in a row. And of course they're tiny. And then I decided I was going to be big and did a house. And it just looks like too heavy handed. My favorite one, I actually did this one, and I did a row of trees.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I love the color choice too.
Thank you. So I saved those just as a reminder.
Yes.
But these are all of our little Monets. It was like a little case that was in their gift shop when we were there. That's what I used.
Awesome.
Yeah. I thought if I used those, it would make my job easier, and all of a sudden I would be like a natural at watercolor because I was using something from the gift shop in Monet's garden.
Well, Monet's garden, like if there's ever a place that makes you want to try art, it was there.
Yeah, it is.
So incredible.
That is so very true. Those look really nice. You could frame them and make a collage. I could, Gavin, but that's a good idea. Thank you. It was fun watching you ladies. Good night, Cheryl Atkinson. We love you too, honey. I love watercolors, but it's harder than you'd think. Lolly, I agree. One of the ladies I featured in the last journal, it's Christy Wright with Red Echo Studio, and she's in my group, and she just like a natural. All of a sudden she started doing these huge watercolors, and I'm like, some people just have that brain, Debbie. Some people just have it, and some people.
God gives us all different kinds of brains. Like I want to climb inside your brain and see what's going on that's not in mine. I'm like, how did she? What's like? Don't you like see art and just look at the artist and go, what's going on up there that it came out like that? You know, it's like I know the things that come easy to me. I'm like, well, yeah, it's just you just do it.
You just do it, or I think to me, I'm thinking, what class in school did I miss? I never missed a day of elementary. Like I got an award for never missing a day, but I missed something in art.
No, your art is beautiful. I guess, well, I don't know. Now I'm scared to try watercolor. I feel art is a lot about understanding like where light goes and like understanding shading and how the light hits things and where the shadows are. And I either don't pay enough attention or just don't understand it or haven't really looked.
Well, if you get an hour to yourself, I had this artist, Debbie, come into our Creative Connection, and her name is Nancy Reed Jones, and she's on here sometimes. She's an acrylic artist, and she's a plein air artist who teaches in the Hudson Valley in New York. And she did a painting tutorial for our group, and in an hour, she had transformed this 12 by 16 canvas into this whole misty meadow with trees. And she was such a good teacher. And I was just like hanging on every word. It was very good and very educational. So if you get an hour to watch it, it's in the group. It's really good.
Oh, I will go find it for sure.
She tells her story about how she actually ended up losing her son. And when she lost him, all of a sudden, it was literally, she painted for the first time. And not only did she paint, she became an artist who's award-winning artist. And she started going to the hospitals where there were cancer children, and she would talk to them about happiness, what it looked like, and she would paint it on the walls in the hospital.
Oh my goodness. And she never painted before that?
Never. She said she just felt like God, it gave her something back.
Oh, wow.
It's a incredible story, but she's so patient, and she's just a really, really beautiful instructor. So
I'm going to go look that up for sure.
Her name is Nancy Reed Jones, you guys. And Derek listened to her. She's been on our podcast. She was in the journal, and she was on my spotlight. She was in my group teaching twice. So she's really wonderful. Laura McCarroll says, Debbie, I just watched your video. How wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Laura. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I feel like I paint with my video storytelling. Like I would just love to, I don't know, I'd love to tell stories in in a bigger way someday. Not quite sure.
Well, one day what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Debbie on this big stage with the big speakers that are as big as her body, and we're gonna make her tell stories to like adults and children alike and just all kinds of people. And everybody's just gonna be mesmerized because she's a great storyteller and she loves it and she speaks with passion. So expect that in a city coming near you one of these days. Okay, yes. If I've got to drag her there, we're getting there. Yes, she is, Diane. Everybody, I think we're going to sign off now. If you have questions about our workshop, 2 weeks from today, the Woods
Come
family.
see us. We want to connect with you.
Yep. And remember that Debbie is basically celebrating because a year ago this month, she took the keys to the space where she is. And she's transformed it into something that looks completely different than it did 12 months ago. So we're kind of calling this her year anniversary, even though she'll probably do a bigger celebration in August. But we hope you guys can make it. If you can't, of course, we understand. If you are local to San Diego, come on, hang out with us. I already know what I'm painting, so it's going to be pretty fun.
It's mostly about encouragement. It's just come as you are, and we just want to connect with you and encourage you and help you like just get over whatever obstacles are in the way of whatever it is that your dreams are. And it's a super fun time. Like I just always, after we do one of these, I'm always just so encouraged myself.
I am encouraged myself too, because people tend to share and they tend to open up and tell their own story. And I always like to remind people that we're typically we're not really doing this. The guests as well are not doing it for themselves necessarily. We end up doing this for everybody. It ends up being something where everybody takes home so much more than what they thought they were coming with.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody takes so much more home from it. It's the 25th and 26th.
And it's outside under our beautiful new cabana, palapa, gazebo, whatever you call it. It's open air, so it's totally like spacious and lots of free breathing going on. So you don't have to worry about, like, if you're concerned about those kind of things, it's a great environment to learn and do it in a safe way.
Absolutely. You guys, I'll be back on Friday night. I have 2 of my Empowered by Design ladies joining me. And then I will be on Sunday, and then so a week from tonight. No. I'll be on. I'm jumping ahead. 2 weeks from tonight, I won't be on because I will be landing in a, Sheila, you're in San Diego. Yes, honey. Tickets are available. If you scroll up, the link is there, but it's also on my website at theturquoiseiris.com. Sheila on here, Debbie, is in San Diego, and she is a glass artist. And,
oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, girl. She's
like blown glass?
Like, Sheila, how do you describe yourself exactly? Because I also had her in the journal, and she has a new project coming out. I think she showed on our live, but she takes, oh my gosh, it's so good. Everybody was trying to buy the products that she kept holding up. Everybody was like, how much? It was like a sale. And she's like, hold on. She's in San Diego there.
It'll be so good to meet you.
It is stained glass. I mean, she buys the sheets of glass and then she builds things. She built a bouquet, like a floral bouquet of glass flowers.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm like, you don't even use gloves? She's like, oh, sure I do. All right, everybody.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here. Good night, and I will see you in a couple of days.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Debbie. I think your painting is looking amazing.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Good night.
Bye.